Where'd you come from?
So I've been with the court for 7 years. I worked in the assignment office. I worked with magistrates, their trials and stuff. So
So you know the drill.
yeah.
Yeah, you know the drill.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't catch it. Sorry, sir. What was your name again?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat. What? Yeah, I don't have any up here. Back on the record, 21 CR 5052, State of Ohio versus Michael Jason Meade. Are we prepared to, do we need to put anything on the record prior to bringing in the jury?
No, Your Honor. Not from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. You can keep it on. Yeah. Perfect. You bring in the jury. Does Judge Sarah have that? Those conversations.
All rise. Oh, yeah, I got you.
Is that the beeping?
That's the noise that makes.
Everyone can have a seat? Hope everything went well on the jury view yesterday. Get back on. What we're going to do is take testimony today. Any witnesses on behalf of the state of Ohio?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Yeah.
Where the court reporter's sitting. Step right up there.
There's a little maze you have to walk around to come here. Just come all the way around. I should put yellow tape on the floor. Come on up, come on up. Can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear, affirm under penalty of perjury, your testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why don't you pull that mic over towards you? Make sure everybody can hear you. I guess pull yourself over towards you. Would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury your name
Sharon Payne,
and where do you live?
3996 East States Place, Columbus, Ohio, 43224,
How long have you lived there?
23 years.
Okay. Do you own that property?
I do.
Are you employed?
Retired,
And where are you retired from?
Chase Bank,
How long did you work at Chase Bank?
20 years.
What'd you do there?
Customer service,
Okay. Are you married?
widowed.
When did your husband pass away?
My husband passed away in March 2018.
Okay. What was your husband's name?
Ernest Payne Sr.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Oh, I'm sorry. You and I both walk slow.
We do.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1.
Okay.
You recognize the individual depicted in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Casey Goodson Jr.,
And who's Casey Goodson Jr.?
my grandson.
Okay. Did Casey have any nicknames?
He had a couple nicknames. One was Tank, the other one was CJ.
Okay. Who gave him those nicknames?
My husband gave him the nickname of Tank because when he was born, he weighed 8 pounds and 5 ounces, and he was pretty big.
So he called him Tank?
Tank. And CJ, I'm not sure who nicknamed him that, but it stood for Casey Jr.
Okay. Your husband named him Tank. Did he keep calling him Tank even?
He did his whole life.
Okay. Did they have a close relationship?
Very close. He was a father figure for Casey.
What'd your husband do?
He was an auto mechanic.
Okay. And what was your relationship like with Casey?
Casey and I were very close.
Okay. What did you call him?
But I called him CJ,
Would you be more comfortable if I refer to him as CJ?
probably, yes.
Okay. When was CJ born?
January 30th, 1997.
Okay. Did growing up, did he live with you?
He did.
Okay. All the time or off and on?
Most of the time, back and forth between us and his mother.
Did that help to increase the closeness of the relationship?
It did. I mean, he was there and we cared for him.
Okay. And you say he and his grandfather were very close?
Very close.
Did Casey work?
He did work.
What was the first job that Casey had, as you recall? Overruled.
When he was 14, he worked at a pet shop cleaning out cages for animals.
Okay. And was that a pet shop close by the house?
It was a neighborhood, yes, captive-born reptiles.
Okay.
Captive-born reptiles.
Captive-born reptiles?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say animals, you're talking about?
Snakes.
He likes snakes, huh?
He did, he did.
Snakes give me the willies.
All animals.
Yeah. And so he worked there. What other kinds of jobs did Casey
In
get?
high school, he worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and his one got shut down. He worked at 3 different ones altogether. And then he worked at Chase Bank for 2 to 3 years in the warehouse. And then he decided he wanted to be, well, first he tried to open his own business. He was very ambitious, and he tried to open a car wash. In his name, he made the little cars, bought all the equipment. That didn't work out, unfortunately.
That didn't go very well.
Right, so then he decided to become a truck driver, so he went to school to get his CDL license. And then
Did
that's,
a CDL?
he did.
And did he drive truck?
He did drive truck.
Did he do that here locally?
No, he drove cross-country to several different states.
Council want to approach? That's right, you have to turn that on. You may continue.
So Casey got his CDL and he was driving,
He did,
and when you say trucks, you're talking
semi,
bigs. And he did that across the country.
right.
Okay. Did Casey eventually come back to Columbus?
He did.
And do you know why he did?
I do. His mother was pregnant, and she had a set of twins early. And he came home. She went back to work. She worked nights, and she went back to work just a few days after having the babies. And they were staying with me at the time, so he stayed home to help me with the twins while she was at work.
Okay. Now, leading up to December 4th, 2020, was Casey living with you then?
He was.
Was he employed?
He was. He worked at the Gap warehouse,
Okay. What did he do for the Gap warehouse?
picking and packing.
I'm going to sustain that. You continue.
What were his work hours at the Gap?
I'm going to overrule that.
From 4 in the afternoon till 2 in the morning.
Okay. So he worked like what we call second shift?
Correct.
Okay. And in December of 2020, did the Gap warehouse have any kind of program because of the holiday season?
They did. They,
Sustain.
You own a car?
I do. I did.
And what kind of car was it?
2011 Nissan Versa.
Who drove that car?
I drove it. My son drove it sometimes, but mostly Casey.
Okay. And how many sets of keys were there to the car?
One.
And who generally had that?
Casey.
Okay. Did the car have automatic or manual locks on it?
Manual.
Okay, tell us what you mean by that. How would you lock the car?
The key.
Okay?
You had to use the key to lock it when you got out of it.
Okay, so what, that would lock what door?
The key would lock my door, the driver's door, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And there was a button, if you got out of them, that would lock all doors.
I'm sorry?
There was a button on the driver's side that would lock the doors.
Okay. But it wouldn't lock the driver's door.
No,
So the only way to totally lock
it was with the key.
which is the old style key with a blade
Yes, sir.
that you put into the door?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever ride with Casey?
I have, yes. He used to pick me up from work.
Did Casey have a concealed carry permit?
He did.
Do you remember when he got that?
Not exactly, no.
Would Casey carry a gun with him?
He did.
How would he carry it?
He carried usually in his holster or in his pants, in the waist of his pants.
Okay. And where would he put the holster in his pants?
Overruled if she knows.
On his
the
pants.
belt?
Yeah,
On the side?
like right towards the front.
You're pointing towards
Oh, I'm
like.
sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
Towards the front, on the side, but closer towards the front.
When you rode with him in the car, did he ever have the gun with him then?
He took the gun almost every time he left the house.
Okay. And when he got in the car, did he keep it in the holster?
He kept it in the holster. I can remember once he put it on the console, I guess,
Okay.
to lift it up.
I mean, where you're describing it, it would seem uncomfortable to sit with it.
That's probably why I never asked him. but
Okay.
Probably.
All right. When he got the CCW permit, was that bothersome to you?
The CCW permit wasn't bothersome. What was bothersome is when he left, he took the gun. He'd take the gun with him. And I know there was a lot of shootings by police officers on black people.
Sustain. Approach. You may inquire.
Okay, let's talk about December 4th, 2020. Well, no, let me back up. house where you live, or is the house where you live, located in Franklin County?
It is.
Stipulate to venue, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about December 4th,
Okay.
2020. Did you see Casey that morning?
I did.
Tell us about that.
I was coming down the hall out of my bedroom and we passed in the kitchen. He was going towards the bathroom, I was going towards the kitchen. And I forgot he had a dentist appointment and I said, what are you doing up so early? Because he worked till 3 in the morning, so I usually didn't get up till 12, 1 o'clock to get ready to go to work. And he said, I got a dentist appointment.
Sustained. Ms. Payne, you can't say anything of what Casey told you.
Okay.
Judge, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted.
It's hearsay.
Okay. So, without telling us, Casey spoke to you,
Yes.
and tell us what happened next.
He left to go to the dentist.
Overruled.
He left to go to the dentist. I had my 4-year-old great-granddaughter and my 3-year-old granddaughter. They woke up and I made them oatmeal, put them in the kitchen at the table, went to the basement, sorted clothes, started a load of laundry, come up and make coffee, and then went to my bedroom to drink my coffee and eat a granola bar.
Okay. Were you in your bedroom by yourself?
I was in there with my grandson and my granddaughter.
Okay, now, why don't we put names on them?
Okay. Daryl Jr., he
Okay.
was, I believe, 5 at the time, and Ariana, she was 10.
Okay. Did you have any interaction with anybody else in the house that morning?
Before everything happened?
Yes.
No.
How about,
Oh, my granddaughter had picked a scab or something and her arm was bleeding. I took her to her dad, which is my son,
okay, and what's his name?
Ernest Payne Jr.
Okay. And Ernest lived in the house then as
Yeah.
well? Who else was living in the house?
My 2 granddaughters, Janae Sanford and Linnea Cheney, and her daughter that was my great-granddaughter, the one that was 4 at the time.
Okay, and what was her name? What is her name?
Leah,
And was she the one still in the kitchen?
she was in the kitchen when the incident happened.
Okay. And what, eating oatmeal?
Eating oatmeal, yeah.
Okay. So you're in your bedroom. You've got 2 of your grandchildren in your bedroom with you. Tell us what happened.
I just sat down and I heard a loud noise, like, bam, real loud, but
Yeah, go ahead.
a loud noise I didn't realize at the time because it was so rapid. There was gunfire, and at the same time, I heard a large crash, like a chandelier falling and crashing to the ground.
That's what it sounded like?
That's what it sounded like to me, yes.
Did you have a chandelier in your house?
No, but I've seen TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me back up. I think I misspoke. You're in your bedroom with one of your grandchildren. The other one was with her father at that point.
No, the 10-year-old, she was doing homeschool on her computer, and my grandson was on his phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, altogether there was 4 grandchildren there.
All right. Then I didn't misspeak. So you hear this noise, and you know the rapid gunfire, and the sound of glass breaking. It sounded like a chandelier breaking.
Right.
What did you do?
I got up and my son was coming out of his bedroom, which was next to mine. And I said, what the hell was that? And at the same time I was looking at him, my great-granddaughter come flying down the hall running, terrified. So I stopped and took her in my room and put her on my bed and told her, don't get up.
Yeah, approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
It's a diagram of the house. I don't have an exhibit number
Okay,
yet for it,
That's
but
fine.
do you recognize what's depicted in that diagram?
I do.
What is it?
It's the inside of my house.
Okay, let's see if we can orient ourselves on it.
Okay.
Estates Road would be here over at the left edge of the,
It would.
and,
Allow her to identify roads and places.
oh, very well. Where would Estates,
This would be Estates Place.
so that's on the left
The-
side of
The
the,
front of the house.
okay. Where's Sale, or
Ca-
Case?
Case is here. It's on the side of my house.
Okay. What room is your bedroom?
This is my bedroom.
Okay, mark an X there. Okay, what room is Ernest's room?
This was his room.
Okay. Just write Ernest there. Now, there's a third bedroom. Who stayed in that bedroom?
At the time, Janae, my granddaughter, stayed in that room.
Okay, write Janae there. This room is what?
The living room.
Okay, put LR in there. And this room is what?
The kitchen.
Okay, just put a K in there. Okay, thank you.
Need a exhibit sticker.
Yeah, I just don't know
Jill,
where
do
my
you have any?
numbers are. Thank you. I'm gonna pick a safe number because we've marked a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna mark this as 25. If I can. May I publish this?
You may.
Right, somebody needs to tell me how to do this. Just lower or raise? Maybe I got it wrong here. Well, I want to get the whole thing. Oh, there we go, there. Okay. Now, the X is your bedroom. Then we've got Ernest's bedroom. And Janae's, the kitchen, and the living room.
Right?
You came out of your bedroom. I'm sorry, I'm the technological caveman here. How does she mark?
I don't think she can on that. You have to have it on the computer or something, correct? But you do it on her screen.
Yeah, I just who's going to have her trace on her screen where she came.
Not sure why it's not showing up on her screen. That's probably the better question.
She can stand up and just have her come with you.
Okay. Why-
We have new technology this week, so it should be on my screen too.
No, these are not.
New or old, I wouldn't know how to do it. Sharon, why don't you step around here?
I don't know why it's not on my screen. Not that I need it, but.
Should be on everybody's.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just using the pen, draw your path. After you heard the shots and the crashing, you came out of your bedroom and show us where you met Ernest.
When I was coming out of my bedroom, I first met him here in the hallway.
Okay?
And then I came back into my room to put the child on the bed.
All right, let me stop you here. Where did your youngest grandchild come?
She came from the kitchen out this way, and was running down the hall.
Okay, so you met her in the hallway there. And you then did what?
I picked her up and took her to my bed.
Okay, and placed her on your bed there?
Right.
Okay. And did what with her?
I put her on my bed, told her don't get up, stay on the bed. And then I left back out and went into the living room this way.
Okay. And where did you go in the living room?
I started in the living room. My son was on the floor. They had him on the floor at gunpoint, and he reached up and grabbed me and told me to get down before I got shot.
Okay, let me stop you. When you say he was on the floor, you know, is he laying on the floor?
When I saw him, he was sitting with his 3-year-old daughter in his arms.
Okay. And he tried to grab you,
Right.
or did grab you?
He did grab me, and I pulled loose from him.
Okay, and what did you do?
And I come over here to see, I heard yelling, but I can't tell you anything that was said. I just heard a bunch of screaming. And I came over here. This is the door to the kitchen. And I came down this way and, well, right here, and
Okay,
peeked in the kitchen.
okay, all right. You can sit back down. What did you see when you looked in the kitchen?
When I looked in the kitchen, I saw CJ laying on the floor, on his stomach. I saw his hands were extended, but the palms were flat, laying flat on the floor.
So if this is the floor,
They were down on the floor, laying flat on the floor.
okay,
And I saw 2 bullet holes in his back. I saw one that was bigger than the other one, but it was between his shoulder blades. And then I saw another one down from there.
okay,
But it was just a matter of seconds because I ran to call 911.
okay. When you looked in and saw CJ, were you aware of any other people in the house?
I wasn't.
So you didn't notice anybody else in the
I
kitchen?
didn't.
How about in the living room?
Just my son and his daughter.
Okay. What did you do then?
I ran to my bedroom and called 911.
Okay. On a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get through to 911?
I believe I called twice. The first time they couldn't understand me and I hung up, and then I called back and spoke with them.
Courtney? how do I play the 911 call? I've got it. Huh? From my computer. I think it is plugged in, but it's, I'm turning it on. It shut itself down. Yeah, that's it. No, it's not. If I plugged in the right way. Are you, can you tell if my computer's
It's not on.
not connected?
No.
This is audio.
Leiyaah.
Should we take a break? Oh, here we go. Mr. Shaw, you're in charge of all technological at that table.
We have to have you.
Close that other window.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
3996 Estates Place.
And what's the emergency?
My grandson just got shot in the back when he came in the house, and I don't know if he's okay because there's still out there.
I'm sorry, what just happened?
My grandson just got shot
Okay, where did this happen?
at my house. He lives there
Okay,
with me.
so who shot him?
I don't know. I just
Okay.
heard the gunshots, and I would get up, and he's laying in the door.
Okay. And nobody saw anything prior to this?
No, he went to the dentist or somewhere and came home, and all I know has a bunch of gunfire. He's not a bad kid. He don't have a police record. He works. I don't know what happened.
Okay, is there anybody in the house that can tell you who shot him?
No, they don't know. They were threatening everybody in the house. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
That's okay, we've got help headed that way. Did they say if anybody was outside arguing with him or anything?
Pardon me?
Is he breathing?
I don't know. They won't let me in the kitchen by him.
Okay. Did he say if he had, like, any disputes with anybody?
No, not that I know of. I'm not aware of anything.
Okay, what's your name and telephone number, ma'am?
Sharon Payne,
Okay.
614-597-5570.
Do you know if he was dropped off by anyone?
No, he went to the dentist or somewhere. He was driving my car. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, the officers
There's a
will be
black car
that
out
way.
here waiting.
I'm going to go ahead and get the medics started that way, okay?
That's the damn police. Hold on.
There.
Give
Okay.
me that squad.
Ma'am?
That's the police.
Yeah, the police are there, and they've got the medics too, okay?
Grab a collar for your dog. Leave everybody out of the house. Okay, everyone out of the house. Grab your kids.
Was that you on the call?
Yes, sir, it was.
What happened next?
We were ordered out of the house.
Did anybody ask you about CJ?
Overruled.
Nobody asked me anything. We had no idea what was going on.
Did anyone mention a gun to you or ask you why someone's coming into your house with a gun?
Sustained as to that question.
How were you treated by the first officers that responded?
Sustained.
State's Exhibit 25. Is that a fair and accurate depiction
Yes, it is.
of the layout of your house?
It is.
And as you recall it, and I know that's not a pleasant recollection, was the 911 call that you just heard accurate?
It was.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions. It's going to be 18. Yeah, the 911 call will be Exhibit 18.
Exhibit 18.
Yeah, I know I have to get it onto a thumb drive.
You may. Any cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, Ms. Payne.
Good morning.
Ms. Payne, I'm Steve Nolder. I'm one of the lawyers representing Mr. Meade. I do have a few questions for you. Okay?
Okay.
And Ms. Payne, isn't it true that back in April of 2021 that you went to the U.S. Attorney's Office and were interviewed by the FBI?
I don't know the date, but I was interviewed by the FBI.
And was that at the U.S. Attorney's Office in a conference room?
Yes.
And were there FBI agents in the room?
I don't believe it was an FBI agent that was in there now.
Were there a lot of people in the room?
My family, and there was a lady, I can't think of her name is, and one of our attorneys.
And one of your attorneys would be Mr. Walton? Who's
It is
representing
Mr.
you?
Walton.
Okay. And he's representing you in a civil case against Franklin County Sheriff's Office?
Correct.
And were you aware that that meeting was recorded?
Yes, I was aware
And
of
have
it.
you listened to the recording that was made on April the 2nd, 2021?
I didn't listen to the recording. I knew it was being recorded.
Okay, but you subsequently haven't listened to that?
If I did, I don't recall.
Did you need to break record?
I just didn't hear the answer.
That's what I thought, so.
She said she didn't, she hasn't listened to it. All right, and so isn't it true during this, this interview that occurred at the U.S. Attorney's Office that you talked at great length about the events of December the 4th of 2021? or
That's what we
2020?
discussed, yes.
All right. And during this meeting, you told those that were present that your daughter Tamala had dropped off baby D and Ariana earlier that morning.
No, she dropped off baby D. Ariana belonged to my son.
Okay.
She was there.
All right. And so both of those grandchildren were the grandchildren in your bedroom?
They were.
All right. And I think you said that baby D was 5 and Ariana was 10?
Correct.
And is that how old they were at the time of the shooting?
It is.
And isn't it true that when Tamala had dropped off her child, so that you could watch her child, that she told you that police were in the area?
She did.
And isn't
Overruled.
it true that she told you that she was going to warn Tank that police were in the neighborhood?
She said she was going to let him know.
And again, Tank is Casey Goodson.
He is.
And isn't it true that he's right-handed?
Yes, he is.
All right.
You want to approach?
Wow. Gotten by it, apparently.
And I think that your direct examination testimony was that on December the 4th, before the shooting, that you were doing some laundry in your basement,
I
right?
was.
Because that's where the laundry facility
It
is, in
is.
the basement, right?
It is.
And that you came upstairs and you made some breakfast for, is it baby D and Ariana?
No, it was my great-granddaughter and my son's youngest daughter.
Okay, and help me with their names. What's the great-granddaughter?
The great-granddaughter is Leah,
Right?
and the granddaughter is Tiana.
Tiana. And which of those children were at the table when the shooting occurred?
Leah,
Leah.
the great-granddaughter.
And how old was she?
She was 4 at the time.
And isn't it true that during your interview with the FBI that you never told them that she was seated at the kitchen table when the shooting occurred?
I would imagine that I did.
If the transcript of that interview depicts that you didn't tell her, that would reflect that that didn't come up during that interview. Isn't that true?
I don't know. I was very emotional, upset at the time, but I'm sure I told him because that was one of the main things, seeing her terrified running down the hall, that upset me so bad.
So after you came up from the basement, you, I think, got a cup of coffee and had a granola bar, I think you said, right? And you took that to your bedroom, isn't that true?
It is.
And in your bedroom were baby D and Ariana, right? And I think that you said that baby D was using his phone and that Ariana was doing some
Schoolwork on a computer.
online learning with the computer?
Don't talk over each other.
Yes.
And so baby D's using the phone, Ariana's doing some schoolwork, and you are drinking a cup of coffee as well as eating a breakfast bar, right?
Correct.
And I think that you also had the TV on, didn't you?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I just came in the room. They may have had cartoons on.
Well, isn't it true that you told the FBI on April the 2nd when you were interviewed that you were watching Spectrum News?
I wasn't watching any of those. I don't recall that. I don't recall telling them that.
And if I could ask for Ms. Stevens' assistance, and I'm going to play a portion of this interview for you,
Okay.
Ms. Payne. And first of all, I want to ask you if it is your voice in this interview. would be counter number 41.18.
Okay. Did you? A television or music playing in your bedroom at all?
I had the news on.
Okay.
I always go, I got.
Was that your voice, Ms. Payne?
That was me.
And isn't it fact you told the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office on April the 2nd, 2021, that you had the TV on, you were watching news?
The TV was on, but I mean, I don't remember, to tell you the truth. It was such a bad time.
That was counter 41.21. Go ahead and play it 5 seconds more.
Nah. I mean, I ate my bar and drank some of my coffee. In fact, when I got back in the house, I still had almost,
But that was you, right?
that was me.
And you said that you heard a loud commotion as you were in your bedroom, right?
Yes,
And the door was open,
it
right?
was.
Okay. And you didn't know the source of the commotion. You just heard this loud commotion, right?
Right.
And then you heard gunfire, right?
I didn't realize it was gunfire at the time because it was so fast. It all happened together, like bang, 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 and like a chandelier crashing. That's what it sounded like to me.
And if I could use the Elmo, Courtney, if I could have your assistance in that, please? Now, you've previously testified about State's Exhibit 25, right? And that's a fair and accurate depiction of the interior of your home, right?
It is.
And isn't it true that this direction here, that would be Estate's Place? Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
And this direction here, I think that's east-west, that would be Case Road, right?
It is.
And I think you identified this room here with the X as being your bedroom, right?
It is.
So that's the bedroom where you and Baby D and Ariana were when the shooting occurred,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
And isn't it true that there are no windows that would enable you to be in your bedroom, sitting on the bed, and seeing what's happening on Estate's Place? Isn't that true?
I have a window in the front of the house is the honest states, the window in my bedroom.
But there's no window in your bedroom that enables you to see out onto Estate's Place. Isn't that true?
Well, I don't understand what you mean, because there's a window. I have a window in my bedroom. You can look out and see Estate's Place.
Did you see anything unusual occurring on Estate's Place
Not
before
at
the
all.
shooting?
Not
All
at
right.
all.
And would it be fair to say that this area right here, that's the front door?
Yes,
Okay. And this area back here, is this the side door?
it is.
And so that's the side door where there was damage to the storm door, isn't that true?
It is, yes.
And so this is Ernest Payne's room,
Yes,
this is Janae Sanford's room,
yes,
this is the kitchen,
yes,
and you said that your route initially was you came out and grabbed Leah as she was running towards you and put her back in the bedroom, right?
I did.
And then you came out around here, and that enabled you to see in the kitchen, true?
Right, true.
Now, I think your direct examination testimony was, when you looked into the living room, you saw your grandson face down on the floor, right?
When I was in the living room, I looked in the kitchen and
Yes.
saw him, yes,
That's where you saw him, right?
exactly.
His feet were by the storm door.
I did not see his feet. I saw his upper body, the bullets in his hands. I noticed his hands out. And it was a quick glance, but I saw him and I didn't see his feet. I couldn't tell you where they were, to be honest.
Right. But you did see, and I think you described to the FBI, that his hands were out as if he was trying to catch himself. You remember saying that?
Yeah, I do remember saying that because I wonder if he was trying to stop himself from falling, is what I said.
And so that's the position of the body when you first saw it, when you had that quick glance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very traumatic, and I'm sorry that we're having to go through this, but I know it was a very traumatic event for you. You saw him for a split second, And I think you also told the FBI that his head was turned towards a refrigerator.
Right, he was facing left, yeah, the refrigerator was over here.
And if I might, is this right here the refrigerator?
Let me see, I'm sorry, I have bad eyesight. Yes, that was a refrigerator.
So his head would have been facing this object here, which is the refrigerator.
Right, but he was laying down by the door.
Right, okay. And after you saw him, you said that you were there a split second, and it was so traumatic that you ran back into your room.
I did,
And Ernest was on the floor, right?
with his daughter in his
His
arms.
daughter, and that was the daughter that had the bloody arm because she had picked a wart, right?
Right,
All right. Now, isn't it true that Ernest told you that you were standing right next to a marshal when you were looking into the kitchen and you didn't even remember that person?
I didn't remember him.
But you remember Ernest telling you that?
I don't remember him telling me that, and I didn't see a marshal. All I know is I saw Casey, and I heard a whole bunch of screaming and hollering.
I understand. And again, I'm sorry, but my question is, not that you remembered seeing him, but Ernest told you that there was a marshal standing right next to you. Do you remember him telling you?
I do remember him telling me that, and that they were holding him at gunpoint.
But you were so traumatized, you don't remember
I
seeing him.
was looking to see what was wrong with Casey. I wasn't thinking about anything else.
So you ran back to the room, called 911. And isn't it true that when you were interviewed by the FBI on April the 2nd, 2021, that you told them that you didn't see Jason Meade that day?
I didn't see Jason Meade that day.
Now, this event that you unfortunately experienced was so traumatic that it caused you some health issues later that day on December the 4th.
I passed out and fell down the steps.
Yep. And you were hospitalized for a few days as a
I
result of it,
was.
right?
I was.
And isn't it true that when you were interviewed by the FBI that you told the FBI that you'd lost your memory, at least temporarily?
Just until when I first came to, I didn't remember everything. I knew CJ. I said something about CJ, and then they told me that he was murdered and everything came back.
All right? But you were then discharged from OSU Hospital, right?
I was.
You came home, right? And Ernest was living there at your house at the time, right?
Was.
And isn't it true that you told the FBI that Ernest was responsible for cleaning up the mess that was left after the
Yes, he
shooting?
did. It was
right?
very traumatic for him.
And isn't it true that Ernest found a mask on the floor that your grandson had, and he laid it on the table?
The face mask, yes.
And that was a mask that you had retained possession of until the meeting at the U.S. Attorney's Office in April of 2021.
Yes.
All right. Now, if I may, may I approach witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Payne, I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification purposes as defendants exhibits B and C, and I'd ask you to take a look at those two exhibits and tell me when you've completed your examination.
Okay.
You recognize the items that are depicted in defense exhibits B and C?
I do.
And may I publish those exhibits, Your Honor?
You may.
First, deal with defense exhibit B, Ms. Payne,
Okay.
and I'm going to okay, isn't it true that defense exhibit B would be depicting decorations that are above the kitchen sink in your kitchen?
That's correct, yes.
And so going from left to right, on the left side, we have a picture of one apple that looks like it's slightly maybe yellow. You agree with that?
I do.
And in the middle, we have, looks like picture of 3 red apples and maybe a yellow apple, right?
Yes,
Then on the far right, we have a picture of green, right?
that's correct.
And those 3 would have been hanging above your kitchen sink at the time of the shooting, right?
Yes,
They wouldn't have looked necessarily like they do in this picture, right?
right?
They weren't damaged in any way, were they?
No,
At least not to the extent that they are here.
right.
And so when you returned home after getting discharged from the hospital, was the middle picture hanging above the kitchen sink?
No, there was a hole in the wall.
And so if we can look at Defense Exhibit C, you testified that when you were discharged from the hospital, you came home and there was a hole in the wall, right?
Correct.
Now, the hole in the wall that you see here next to this yellowish apple on the left, is that the hole in the wall that was covered by the 3 apples in the one yellow apple picture?
The hole wasn't there, no.
But I mean, that section of the wall that now is a hole, was it covered by the picture with the 3
That's
apples?
where the picture would have been, in that area.
And did you see the picture of the 3 red apples and the yellow apple when you got home?
I probably wouldn't have even looked to see. I saw that hole.
Okay. But
I don't know if the other pictures were there or not, but I know that hole was there.
my question is, since you've been discharged from the hospital, have you seen this picture of the 3 red apples and the yellow apple?
No,
Never have seen it since?
no.
Don't know what became of it?
Pardon me?
You don't know what became of it?
No, I really don't.
Now, you also testified on direct examination that you've been in the car with Mr. Goodson before when he was carrying a gun, true?
Correct?
And isn't it true that on one of the occasions that you said that you were traveling with Mr. Goodson, that he had this gun open on the console of the car? Isn't that true?
He had the gun sitting on the console of the car, yes.
In plain view, right?
Yes.
And may I approach, Your Honor?
May?
I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification purposes as Defendant's Exhibit D. Take a look at that and tell me when you're ready to answer some questions.
I'm ready.
And Ms. Payne, can you tell me who's depicted in that picture?
Casey Goodson Jr.
I'll note the objection. Overruled. You can testify.
Casey Goodson Jr.
What does he have in his hand?
A gun.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
May?
Publish the exhibit?
May?
Again, Your Honor.
Note your objection.
So Defendant's Exhibit D shows, but Defendant's Exhibit D shows Casey Goodson with a gun, and you can see the headrest of a car right here, can't you?
Yes.
Was that the occasion
No.
that he was traveling with you when he was brandishing that gun in the open?
No.
You know when that happened?
This is the first time I've ever seen the picture,
Can
but
you-
I'm sure he wasn't brandishing it like he was pointing it at anybody. He wasn't that type of person.
Can you tell from the look of his face how old he was when he was doing that?
Probably about 21, 22 maybe, I don't know.
But there's no doubt that's him.
That's him.
There's no doubt that that's a gun.
No doubt whatsoever. I know my
No
grandson.
doubt that that's in a
Let
car.
her finish, answer the question before you ask the next.
There's no doubt that's my grandson. I know my grandson.
In a car
Yeah.
with a gun.
Yeah. He had a CCW.
Have a moment, Your Honor.
May?
No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Payne,
Yes,
I
sir.
think when Mr. Nolder was going over Stacy Exhibit 25 with you, I'm sure he didn't intentionally mislead you, but isn't this the front of the house? This part here?
Yes,
And wouldn't estates run across
it would, yes, sir.
here, not up here?
Yeah, yes, sir, you're right. That's why I was confused, because I have a window on the State's place, my front bedroom window.
Okay, so I'm gonna write, no, maybe I won't write it because I don't think it'll show up. I've written Estates Place, and I put an arrow. That's where Estates Place is.
That's the State's place, yes,
And so Case actually runs
on the side of the
on
house.
this side. So when Mr. Nolder was talking to you about, well, this is your front door here, is that correct?
Correct?
And this is a porch out here, right?
It is a porch, yes.
Okay. When Mr. Nolder was pointing out back here as the door into the kitchen, that's a window, isn't it?
Yeah, the door, I'm sorry, the door's over here, because it's next to the stove.
Right. This is the side door right here.
Yes, it is. And then there's the stove and the refrigerator.
And so your house has two doors. It has a front door
On the side,
and a side door.
yes, sir.
And and the side door faces Case Road.
It does.
Okay. So when you're looking in, Casey is right
Right.
here in the entranceway from the side door. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And as I say, I'm sure Mr. Nolder didn't purposely try to mislead you. Mr. Nolder also asked you about being aware of a U.S. Marshal. Yes, let me put 25 back up here. When you were here in the living room, and you said you weren't aware of it,
I wasn't.
but he asked you about Ernest telling you about that. That was later that Ernest.
Afterwards, yeah, after I got out of the hospital, actually.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right, you can step down, thank you.
Your Honor, may we approach?
You may. Honor off the record. You can call your next witness. a little maze around here. You just have to walk around. Going around. You raise your right hand. You solemnly swear, affirm under penalty of perjury, your testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Have a seat. Pull yourself up close to the microphone. And you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury your name?
I'm Janae Jones.
And Janae, is that your married name?
Yes, it is.
Or what's your main name?
Sanford.
Okay. And are you married?
Yes, I am.
And do you have any children?
I do.
Okay. And how old is your child?
He's 8 days.
8 days old.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Boy or girl?
A boy.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other children?
Nope, my first.
Where are you currently living?
119 East Point Ridge Drive.
Is that in Columbus, Ohio?
Yes, it is.
All right. And who do you live there with?
My husband and my baby.
Great. And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, now back in 2020 there, what a time that we're unfortunately here in this courtroom for, how old were you at that time?
I was 18.
And did you attend school?
I did, but I had graduated.
Okay, and let's look this way so the jury can see you. Okay. This courtroom's not set up real good because you look this way, and I want you to look at the jury, okay? All right. And are you employed?
No, not currently.
Okay, were you employed before having the baby?
Yes.
And where were you employed?
At Gap.
And your husband employed too?
Yes.
All right. And I'm sorry, what year did you graduate from high school?
2020.
Now, I want you to take you back to December 4th of 2020. Okay, where were you living at that time?
My grandmother's house, 3996 Estates Place.
Okay, and that's in Franklin County, Ohio.
Yes.
And who were you living there with?
My grandmother, Sharon, my brother, Casey, my uncle Ernest, cousin Lania. Her daughter was living there as well, Leah. And then his 2 children would come over a lot.
You weren't there too. And so Ernest, did he have, he's your uncle?
Yes.
Okay, and he had his children there?
Yes.
Okay, and they were just small?
Yes, they were younger.
Okay. And Linnea, she had her child?
Yes.
Okay, and how old was Linnea's child? Toddler?
She was really young, yeah, like a toddler.
Being 18 at the time, I'm sure you probably don't remember all.
Right. I don't remember the exact ages.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to hand you what's marked as, same diagram, State's Exhibit 25A.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is, okay, I'm just going to ask you first, you recognize what that is?
Yes, it's my grandma's house.
Okay, and it's a floor diagram of the house, is that
Right.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, and just, Your Honor, is this a fair and accurate depiction of your grandma's floor plan of your grandma's house on the day of December 4th of
Yeah.
2020? Okay. Your Honor, just say, can she approach the Alamo to have her, okay, why don't you come on? Okay. Now let's give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury kind of an orientation here as to what this is.
So that's a new diagram 25.
Yeah, it's 25A, Your Honor. Okay. So let's down here by the sticker. Okay, you see the sidewalk
Yeah.
going into, in this portion of the house is what?
The patio?
No, yeah, the patio. Okay, if you want to write, can you just put patio there or porch? Okay. And then we've got through here, looks like what are these rooms here?
This is my grandmother's room.
Okay. Why don't you write your grandma's? Okay, Sharon Payne's in the middle room.
My Uncle Ernest.
Okay, so why don't we put Ernest in there? And then the farthest room.
And that was my room.
Okay. Now, the porch faces out onto Estate's place, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we write Estate right there? That's down by the sticker. Now, and the right side over here would be Case Road, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can, maybe just kind of write Case there. Now, let's kind of move through the house here, okay? And what is this room here?
The restroom.
Okay, so why don't you put just BR for or put bathroom. And then this room here is what?
The kitchen.
Okay, so let's just write up here, just write maybe KIT, kitchen. Okay. And so then show me where the front door is.
Right there.
Okay, why don't you write FD for front door? And then the side door, where would that be located?
Right here.
Okay, and let's just write it down here, just maybe SD for side door. Okay, all right. So, and where would Casey's bedroom be?
Like in the basement.
Okay, so why don't we write here, these are the steps going down to the basement?
Yes.
And that just comes right off of this, and there's steps that go right down into the basement, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we write Casey's bedroom? All right. And, okay, you can go back and take your seat for now. Thank you. Now, we did mention that the children were staying there too. Did Ernest's children stay with him in his room?
Yes.
And where would Linnеa's children stay?
In my grandmother's room.
Okay, so she would stay over here with Sharon,
Yes.
right? And would your cousin stay there too?
Yes.
All right. So it's a full house.
Right.
All right. Now, I want you to think back to that day of December 4th of 2020, okay? Do you recall about what time you got up that morning?
I don't know the exact time, but it was like later in the morning.
Okay. And what were you planning to do that day?
We had planned, me and my cousin Linnea, to go DoorDash.
And explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what is DoorDash?
DoorDash is like a food delivery service.
And what do you do?
Oh, you go and deliver food, like somebody will order it, and then you pick it up and take it to their house.
And that's what you and Linnea were planning on doing, your cousin?
Yes.
Okay. And did you hear anybody come into the house earlier?
Yeah, early that morning, like I heard my mom come in
Your
and
mom is
Tamla.
Payne?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then she had dropped baby D or Daryl off, my little brother.
All right, you call your little brother Baby D?
Yes.
Okay. And how old was Baby D then?
He was young. He was a toddler as well.
All right. So go ahead. So
Yeah, I knew she had dropped the baby off. Continue on with the day.
yeah, so but let's start here. Did you see Casey?
No, I didn't see him that morning.
Okay. Was he not home?
No, he wasn't home.
All right. Now I want to continue on. So you heard your mom and Baby D. So what happened next?
I went like around, said good morning to everyone, and then me and my cousin Linnea started talking about like what we were gonna do about going to DoorDash.
Okay. And so what did you guys plan? What was the plan?
Yeah, we was gonna just get dressed and then go ahead and head out to DoorDash. So she went ahead and got in the shower, or was about to get in the shower, and I went and got dressed, like started to get dressed.
All right, so you went to your room,
Yes.
And you went to your room, okay. Now, did you have the door open or shut?
It was shut.
Okay. And what were you doing? Were you getting ratty?
Yes.
Well, explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what was taking place. Let me ask you this. Did you have the TV on or anything like that?
Yes, I did have my music playing.
Okay. And so tell them what took place, what was happening.
I was in the room and I started doing my hair. And I remember I had got like a notification on my phone and it said like my AirPods was in the vicinity.
Well, let's stop there, okay, because some of us might not know about this device. What do you say your AirPods, what are those?
They're like Bluetooth headphones. You can like talk on the phone or listen to music with them.
Okay, and you said you got some type of notification. What do you mean by that?
Sometimes when they were like in the vicinity or close by, they would ding, they would just let you know like they were in the vicinity.
Okay. So, you say it doesn't happen all the time.
No, not all the time.
Okay. Well, who would have your AirPods?
Casey had my AirPods.
Okay, so Casey, how did Casey get your AirPods? And explain to the ladies and gentlemen the circumstances around how Casey ended up with your AirPods.
In October, I had broke my pelvis, and so I had to stop working, and he was still working, and he wanted them to listen to music and stuff while he was at work, so I gave them to him.
Okay, and did he assist you when you were with your broken pelvis? Tell that
Oh,
story.
yeah, he did assist me a lot. Like he would help me wash my clothes and things like that.
And so you then gave him the AirPods?
Hold on.
Yes.
Same concept as me.
Overruled.
What, did he like the AirPods?
Yes, he loved the AirPods.
And after you gave him your AirPods, did he use them?
Oh, he used them every day.
And so let me now move back to the day
Okay.
in that morning. What happened then? You saw this notification or heard this notification, what happened next?
Not long after that, like I heard these loud noises. They sounded like gunshots to me. And I remember hearing my uncle yelling, so I ran towards the kitchen.
Okay, let's stop there a little bit, okay? So you hear something that you thought sounded like gunshots,
Yes.
okay? And you said you ran to the kitchen. Which direction did you go? You came out of your room,
Yeah, just straight ahead.
okay, here, which path did you take? There's two ways to the
Towards,
kitchen,
like,
right?
past the bathroom. Towards
So
the
you went
kitchen.
past the bathroom,
Yes.
okay? And let's talk distances here, okay? How far would it be from when you left your bedroom door to get to the kitchen?
Not far at all, just a few steps.
Okay, so it's very, very close.
Yes.
So explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you, well, let me back up a little bit. What does this black box here represent?
That's the refrigerator.
And this box over here towards the black box that's towards the side door, what's that black box?
That's the stove.
All right. And then this up here, the big rectangle black box in the kitchen, what is that?
The kitchen table.
And it looks like there's some chairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you heard something, you took what you thought were gunshots, and you ran into the kitchen. Why don't you start there and explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you saw?
I remember going in and I seen Casey lying there on the ground, like on his stomach. I remember his hands was like outwards and towards maybe his shoulder length, and his eyes, they were like looking at me. His face was turned my way. And I remember seeing an officer, or I didn't know who he was at the time, but he was standing there as well. And he had told me to back up.
Okay, so they told you to back up and get out?
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to have, may I have the witness approach again for the diagram? Why don't you step back up here? Okay, Janae, if you'd please, are you okay? Okay, all right. If you would just draw the path that you took and where you were when you were able to see into the kitchen that saw Casey.
I came out here and just like right here at that corner where the counter and the refrigerator is at.
Yes, and how much of Casey's body could you see from there?
I couldn't see much, just like his top half.
So when you say the top half, what portion of his body, top half?
Nowhere, like up, and stomach and up.
And would you please draw in there where he was laying, and this is where you saw his top half?
In this area.
And his feet would be which direction?
I couldn't see him, so it was past the stove maybe.
Okay.
That way.
So it's towards the front door?
Yes.
Or toward
The
the
door,
side?
yes.
Okay. All right, you want to go ahead and, so where you've placed, oh, wait, take your seat. Okay, where you've placed the circle, you're saying that that's where you just could see torso of Casey.
Yes.
What happened after that?
So after they told me to go back, I went into the bathroom and I remember calling my sister. And I was on the phone with her for a second and then I ran back out there trying to take some video. Like at this time, I kind of figured it was the police. So I tried to take some video, but they told me to go back and to back up again. So I went back into the bathroom.
So they were giving you commands
Yes,
to get back?
yes.
Okay, and that second time that you saw Casey, was he still on his stomach?
No,
Okay, how was he positioned?
he was just like turned over on his back.
On his back?
Yes,
You complied with what they asked you to do. and
Yes.
went back to the bathroom, right?
yes.
So what happened after that?
They just start like telling us, like more officers had came and they start telling us to, like we had to leave the house. So we had to like rush and get dressed. Like we didn't even get a chance to get dressed. We had to just hurry up and leave the house.
And so were you able to gather anything?
No, like we didn't even have coats or anything on.
Okay. So when you left the house, which door did you go through?
Through the front door where the porch is.
Through this front door right here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you guys regularly use that front door?
No, not really.
So explain to ladies and gentlemen why you wouldn't use that front door.
Like it was thick, like sometimes it wouldn't open. Something was wrong with it.
Okay, so what door did you normally, the family would use?
The side door.
We're talking about this side door right here where you put SD.
Yes.
So that was the door that you guys would regularly use. Okay. So all of the family was out the front door,
Yes.
okay? And did you stay there at the scene?
Yes, we did stay there.
Okay, were you allowed to leave?
No, they didn't let us leave.
Okay. And eventually, did you speak with an officer there at the scene?
Yes.
Just one moment. Okay, Janae, and so you were ushered out the front porch. So you're on the estate's side of the house?
Yes.
Did you see your grandma's car?
Yes.
Okay. Explain to ladies and gentlemen how that car was parked.
It was parked like on the wrong side of the street, like straight, and my cousin Lania's car was right here, and it was kind of behind it, kind of in front of the neighbor's house almost.
So Lania's car and the two cars were parked head to face, head to head? Is
Yes,
that correct? Well, did your family normally park that way?
yes, we did park that way a lot.
Explain to them. How it is we park.
Yeah, we would park like on the wrong, like kind of like face to face. A lot of the times we would just pull up and park.
And has there ever been any problems like that?
No.
What?
Objection.
Overruled.
Okay. Thank you, Janae. I appreciate you coming in.
You're welcome.
And congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Any cross-examination?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
May.
Thank you. You can keep that up, Courtney. Mr. Schroeder, may I have that exhibit, please? Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Collins, and I just have 4 or 5 easy questions for you. I have one very difficult one for you at the end, but may I call you Ms. Jones?
You can.
Well, let me ask the difficult question first, okay? On direct, you said you were unemployed, but in reality, you have the toughest job there is in raising a newborn just being born 8 days ago, correct? You have a full-time job, don't you?
Yes.
24/7, right?
Objection. What's that? Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
At the scene, you remember being interviewed by a detective on December 4th, right?
Yes.
And you remember that being tape recorded, and you gave all the answers that he asked, correct?
Yes.
And you did your best to tell the truth, correct?
Correct.
And what you could remember, right? Then you had another interview on January the 8th with the FBI, correct?
Yes.
And your civil attorney, the family attorney was with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you did the best you could in that situation, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And I want to talk about, in those interviews, you believe that Jason Meade was not in the house, correct? You never saw him that night?
No, I never saw him personally.
Right, that evening, and that's what you told them in their interview, correct?
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Okay. And in that interview with the FBI, they actually went over this chart with you, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. May I approach with Defendant's Exhibit A, Your Honor?
You may.
Ms. Jones, I'm handing you what's been marked on the application for this Defendant's Exhibit A. If you take a look at that, identify that.
My grandmother's house.
A fair and accurate depiction of what they showed you with the FBI, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And may I have that back? Thank you. So in this situation, let me get it the right way. You had seen this diagram before, and people put initials where they were and everything like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I'll leave this one up. So then, you told Mr. Schroyer on direct that the second time you came out, you saw a U.S. Marshal, or somebody you thought was a Marshal, right?
Yeah, I just knew he was maybe an officer. I didn't know he was a marshal.
I'm sorry. And you took a video of that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
May I approach?
You may.
Ms. Jones, I'm handing you what's been marked as a Defendant's Exhibit E. Is that a still shot of the video that you took?
Yes.
So for the record, you would have been facing that way when you used your camera to tape record, right?
Correct.
And this is just outside your bedroom there, correct?
It's closer, like, to the bathroom.
Okay. And that person told you to go back into your room, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And from that point, though, you couldn't see where Casey was at that point, right? From that angle?
Like, like right here, I seen him, but not that well, like when I was coming back out, not as well as the first time.
Okay. May I publish this, Shannon?
You may.
So on Defendant's Exhibit E, that's you with a camera, if I'm you, near the bathroom facing that way, correct?
Yes,
And that's the view you would have had the second time when whoever that person was told you to go back and use it, right? Or told you to go back.
yes,
And you complied with that, correct?
yes,
Because it's important to comply when they're giving you orders of what to do, correct?
yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for you, Ms. Jones. Thank you very much.
Any redirect?
I have nothing further. Thank you very
All
much.
right, you can step down and congratulations.
We approach.
Right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our lunch break now. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion in the case until it is finally submitted to you. Are they going to come back to here? We're going to go to the jury commission. If you can get down there like 1:15 or something like that.
All rise.
Jill, when they start speaking over each other, and then the screams out of me. Or you just get so hyped that they won't speak. Can I have a seat? You got witnesses available at 1:30?
Well.
Be back at 1:30.
Will you know when you get them here? Will you know when you know process?
I have a laser pointer, I'm not sure if that'll help.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you go.
Superstar. Thank you. Hmm?